One Piece chapter 534. That's pretty damn ballsy. That's pretty ballsy what Luffy did at the end of the chapter, okay? Luffy goes into gear 2 and says like, hey, I can't die without seeing my brother first. I'm gonna lose if I can't hit you. Gear 2 activates and he says I might as well sacrifice my arms. Holy shit. Wasn't expecting that one, okay? Totally not expecting that one. Luffy punches right through him. And if the warden has a severe case of diarrhea from being hit in the stomach, I would totally laugh my ass off. I would enjoy it. But it just got real at this point. Because let's say Luffy does lose his arms. Let's say his arms are, for the most part, rendered useless for the rest of this fight. Luffy's at a severe disadvantage. He's already at a disadvantage anyway. This is the first time I've seen Luffy fight on the defensive and really feel as if he's on the defensive since the Don Krieg fight. If you guys remember when he fought Luffy, when Luffy fought Don Krieg on the Barate, right? Don Krieg, he had Luffy jumping all over the damn place, and it's because Don Krieg knew that Luffy, Devil Fruit, can't swim. And even though Sanji and the rest of them had like the little extra deck and everything kind of propped up to give Sanji and Pearl the opportunity to fight, and Luffy and Don Krieg, it was still Luffy was on the defensive for a bit. And that's the feeling I got here. You got Luffy kind of doing this inner Spider-Man, swinging around. And even when he's swinging, he's like, oh my god, that's hot. And it's like, you big dummy, of course it's hot. Of course it's hot. Like level 3 was so hot that just the fumes of what's going on in this furnace down here was enough to kill people over time. You're in the heart of the beast, if you will. You're in the belly of the fire. So of course, and like I said, the descent into hell, it's real at this point. The descent into hell is so real. And what I'm really loving about this is that Oda is showing us that we are getting a situation where Luffy, he might win this fight, but at what cost? At what cost is Luffy going to win this fight? And I like how when the venom fruit's being used, you know, we get another reminder that if you don't have the antidote, you're in for a whole hell of a lot of pain before you die. And it's really dope in the way that even though the warden sees this man being poisoned, he reminds him, he says, look, I told you fools to get out of my way. Get out of my line of sight. And the prisoners, they're like, what's going on here? Who's fighting right now? And that's what I mean. The legacy of Luffy's growing, and if Buggy somehow gets credit for this again, is so fucking funny, because again, the adventures of Buggy the Clown, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I would read a fucking manga of just Buggy with his wacky stuff. I really enjoyed the cover stories when that happened. And what's really cool about this is the fact that as Luffy's swinging around, I feel like the warden at some point is getting a little bit of respect for Luffy. He does say in the last chapter that if he doesn't stop Luffy, it's going to ruin his reputation for Luffy to break into Impel Down and to make it as far as he did. It kind of tarnishes his legacy. And I thought that that was really cool for him to acknowledge that. And to have the one scene where he creates this dragon of venom, and you got Luffy's running around and trying to get away from it, and he's literally running, like he's not swinging at this point. But when the venom dragon's actually used, he actually rides through it. And I won't say it's the Venom Road, but he rides through it. He comes out the mouth, okay? Like he comes out the mouth of the dragon, tries to attack Luffy. He's got the horns, and the horns are so sharp and it automatically melts the ground and the wall behind Luffy, and Luffy's freaking out because it's like his worst nightmare. Okay, like not only is he fighting someone with something pointy, because if you poke Luffy, Luffy goes bye-bye, and he's also fighting someone with poison that's probably strong enough to burn Luffy in half. So this is the worst type of situation, and yet we're seeing the will to never give up. We're seeing the guts that usually come with being a shonen protagonist. And so when Luffy's swinging around like that and avoiding the hits, and you got this really cool scene where Luffy is freaking out. He sees the sharp object coming at him. He uses his sandal to kind of deflect. Really cool. Really cool. Love seeing the reflexes at this point. But what's really telling, again, is the fact that after all of this, Luffy, Gear 2. And it makes me wonder, is Luffy too exhausted to use Gear 3? Because one of the things I've noticed is that Luffy can go into Gear 3 on a whim if he needs to, but he's already used it once, and there is a recovery period. So I'm really curious on that. Like I said, just the fact that Oda has had Luffy kind of eating and then mentioning, like, man, if you would have just let me get some food in me, I'd have been good to go. I was about to get to some really tasty things. I mean, it's like Oda's preparing us for Luffy to maybe get captured. And I don't know how I feel about that. I at least want him to make it to Ace in time to see his brother get executed. Like, I at least want to see that. Like, I personally hope that Ace doesn't die, that Luffy can save him, and somehow this Whitebeard stuff can be avoided. But it's like Oda is purposely misdirecting us while throwing what's happening with Ace in the background. And I like how Luffy thinks of Boa Hancock when the Warden says, like, look, dude, I'm going to get the information out of you. Alright? Like, you're not going to be able to hide this from me. I'm going to get the information. I'm going to find out how you snuck in here. And Luffy's thinking about Hancock, and he's like, I can't do that. And it's pretty noble because Luffy's probably thinking about her island at the same time because, you know, the treaty, it'd be open season on them, man. And, you know, when that happens, you know, it's going to be a lot of women with babies in their bellies. Like, that's what's going to happen, you know. So Luffy's doing his service, man. And I do want to kind of talk about what's going on with Mr. 2, where he's like, oh, Straw Hat, I'm sorry I run. I love the fact that what you are seeing here is that at the end of the day, Buggy and Mr. 3 and Mr. 2, they're out for their own skin. And, I mean, it's been hinted, you know, Oda's been dick teasing us back and forth. Will they run? Won't they run? Will they run? Won't they run? It's been going on and on. But now they're acting on it. But in typical Buggy fashion, he's finding a way to get himself into trouble. And that's what you saw. It's like a running theme. That's what you saw with the Buggy the Clown cover stories. He'd have these wacky adventures, but at the same time, he would fuck himself up at some point. And even Alvita was fucking tricking his ass. Like, you see it, and it's just like, he's like, oh, well, the Underwarden, we never heard him have a devil fruit. Dude, he's the Underwarden. He's going to have a fucking devil fruit. He's going to have one. They're going to challenge him, and somehow they're going to run right back into Luffy, and they're going to get back on level 5. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how that happens. But my chapter question to you guys is, out of the whole action sequences that you got with Luffy versus the Warden, which was your favorite? And what are your thoughts on the Venom fruit as a whole? How powerful do you think the Venom fruit is? But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. Have an awesome day.